Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, Operation Harvest the North. It was, I'm just gonna say 10 degrees last night. It was a cold one. It was supposed to get colder, but it was cloudy overnight, so it didn't quite get as cold as they were saying. However, they're talking really cold tonight, tomorrow. And we just started here on this little front piece. This is about 5 acres, I think. And it seems to be going really well. He hasn't really sunk in at all. So hopefully we can get this whole farm done. I don't know if we're going to keep going. It'll depend, I guess, on how things go. So this property is split with ditches, like drainage ditches. Like I said, we got this front 5 acres, and then there's a ditch, and then there's 15 acres, and then there's a ditch that runs in the middle, and on the other side it's kind of like 2 halves that's divided up, kind of. It's hard to explain, but on the other side there's where the buildings are. Nobody lives there. It's just a bunch of buildings, and the guy's got like shipping containers and whatnot. Is whatever he does for a business, I don't really know. There is kind of a hill, and there was some earlier planted stuff. This piece was planted. This is one of the first pieces we got done after that, I guess. It was tough planning, but we got it done. So anyways, we're going at it. One more thing. We switched out our 9600 for a 9500. The reason being is the hydrostatic cable that controls basically your movement of the combine, your forward and reverse, would freeze up on us because there was water in the line. There's a rubber gasket that was out, and it would freeze up on us. So when it got cold, we had to heat the line up, so we decided to take that in, and they offered us this one with a 6-row head, which isn't ideal, but we don't have to put the head on a head cart, so that just takes at least one trip out of our journey up here. It takes me about an hour with the tractor. I think it probably took him about an hour, except the dealer is actually in between the farm and up here, so that definitely helped, and we won't have to go back quite as far either. So anyways, we're gonna keep going. We got about 120 acres or so over the next couple days. That's the plan. So yeah, stay tuned for more. Alright guys, so we got one cart on a truck. I have a good half on the cart right now. I need one more dump from the combine. It's yielding, we'll say average. Kinda, I don't know. Dad said there's a lot of little wet spots in this property. It's too flat. That's part of the issue. And when he comes up on one of those, the corn's not very good. But then he'll get past that, and he said it'll be some pretty good corn. And then, you know, good corn. Then he'll find another wet spot, and it's not that great. So I guess it is what it is. we'll just have to, it's got to come off, I guess. We got a 6 row, which is slowing us down a little bit, and the grain tank on the combine is just, it's tiny. I don't know what the deal is. Our 9610, we had, if you filled that up, you had this cart 3/4 full, and if you had it full and unloaded on the go, you filled the cart up. This one takes about 3 dumps just to get the cart full. There's no side extensions, which, I mean, whatever, I guess. We don't, especially with this muddy, wet ground, we don't need all the weight on there, so I guess it is what it is. But I'm also not moving a whole lot. I just don't want to end up finding a bad spot and then we're sunk. So we're kind of unloading on a stop for right now, at least on this part. If he gets it opened up and it's okay, then we might start doing that. But so yeah, one more dump, we'll have a semi loaded, and then we're actually selling the corn to a local dairy up here. They're gonna buy it. Basically they're gonna give us the same price as the co-op would, so, and they're closer. So I'm gonna jump in the semi and ride with him up there just to make sure everything's all straightened out, and then we're gonna go at it. And the one good thing is they're not a co-op, and they're willing to stay open later into the night. If we could go all night if we wanted to. Basically, we're not going to probably, but we don't have a cutoff time of when we need to quit. So I don't know what the plan is. It's gonna freeze hard tonight, so we might end up quitting early tonight and waiting for that cold freeze to come through and then go at it tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. Good morning, guys. Day 2. I got the tractor running, warming up over there. He needs about one more combine dump on him. Okay, recap of what happened yesterday. I didn't say a lot towards the end. So first thing in the morning, we brought the truck up. We left the truck here. We drove back into town, and Dad jumped in the combine. We filled it up with fuel in town. He brought that up. I ran home, got the tractor in the cart, and came up here. We got one semi loaded, and he's got, like I said, I think the cart needs another dump on it. And we had a bearing go out of the combine that runs the fan on it to blow all the chaff and stuff that isn't corn out the back. And so the bearing went out, and so the belt wasn't turning as fast as it should have been. So we got the semi loaded. I jumped in with Richard, and we went up to the farm and unloaded, and we talked to the guy, how everything's gonna work. So basically they're gonna pay us exactly what the co-op would, the local co-op would, which isn't our co-op, but it's the same branch, just a different city. So they're just gonna go off that price and whatnot. The moisture on the first load was about 26%. It's not great, but a lot better than what some other stuff I'm hearing. And at this point, it's not gonna dry anymore. We just gotta get it off and hopefully make a little bit of profit. the yield is doing okay. He said he's finding some really nice corn and some really bad corn, so it's gonna even out to, you know, I'd say a little bit under average, a little bit under, I don't know. So the combine is fixed. It didn't take them too long. They started right up in the morning, and he's driving up now with it. He should be getting close to getting here, I would think. Richard will be coming here shortly, probably in the next half an hour or so, and then we'll just keep going. They're talking snow for tomorrow, and it's gonna get warm again. We might end up having to wait until it freezes up again, which will be next week, the way it sounds. So we're just gonna keep on rocking and see what we can do, and I'll keep you updated. Hey guys, I know I'm not in a tractor. What's going on? Well, I don't remember when I talked to you last, but we got 2 loads out. In the process of filling the second load, I talked to the guy we're working with, where we're selling our grain, and that first load we took out this morning was 28% moisture. Yesterday, the very first load we took out of the field was about 26, which is not great, but 28 is really high, I guess. So if you don't know, corn has to be dried down to about 15%. 15, I've heard a couple different ones, 15 and a half, 15, 14 and a half. Basically, if you're putting it in a bin, that's about what you have to have it at. So, being that it's 28%, I'd have to pay for the drying. I'm not sure what they're using there, if it's propane or natural gas, but I got to pay for that, and I got to pay the fee for all that, and that just cuts into my income the more we have to dry it down. So we filled up the second load and we took it in, and we went over there and we talked to him for a while. That load was, I believe, about 26% again. So we had a little, for some reason, that first load today it spiked a couple points. But we decided we're gonna hang on till next week, middle of next week sometime. They got it warming up tomorrow. Snow, sleet, mess, warm the next couple days. Starting in next week again, they got it cooling off, freezing up. So right now we're talking about possibly hauling some of it home and putting it in the 20 by 50 over by the road, which is almost empty. We put corn silage in it. I believe he's got at least another week or so of corn silage, and then that silo would be empty. So if it comes to that, we may end up bringing some couple. I think Dad figures about 9 loads home, 9 semi loads home, and blowing it into that silo and then feeding out of it, and discontinue buying the wet cake. Um, because then we figure we're not getting paid for that, but we're not paying for that. Hopefully, then it kind of evens out. Um, so yeah, the plan is on Tuesday we're gonna go to the other farm, which is about 60 acres, and pull a couple samples, get them checked, see what that is approximately running, and just kind of figure it out. So I personally need like 5 more loads. We at least need to sell like 4 or 5 more loads just for me. Um, this first farm we're working on, half of it is mine. I pay the expenses and all that. The other half is also going to me because that's my income for the year, basically. Um, I usually would normally get a couple loads, 3 4 loads in my name, just for all the work. Basically, it's my yearly pay, I guess. Um, so that whole farm was supposed to be mine, but if that's wetter than the other farm, I might get a couple loads out of there, and we'll just end up hauling whatever back home. Um, so the other thing is, if we had a way to dry the corn ourselves, if we had a bin dryer or say a continuous dryer or something like that, we would have no trouble bringing that corn home and throwing it in the bin. Um, maybe it is a little bit high, I think, for putting it in a bin dryer, but um, we are very close to a natural gas line that runs just over there. My grandpa, his house is actually heated with natural gas, so we could easily hook into that, and it'd be, for one, it'd be cheaper. We wouldn't get hit with those extra charges from the co-op. Um, the other question is, which way do we go with a bin dryer? Do we go with a smaller continuous, or we're talking about it. It's got to happen. Um, just a matter of when. There's a lot of stuff on this farm that has to happen that is just kind of pending, such as a round baler. I've been talking about that. Round baler, bale shed storage, semi. It's all got to happen. It's just a matter of when, and also where the money is. Um, but there's a few investments that are gonna immediately show you a return, such as a round baler. We could easily be baling corn stalks right now. And honestly, I probably could be square baling corn stalks right now because they are frozen, but um, that's a whole different discussion on its own. But anyways, we're gonna hold off till next week. Stay tuned for more. I haven't gotten a whole lot of action shots. It is pretty cold out, so I'm not sure how anything's gonna work out in the open. Um, so it might just end up being me talking about random stuff. But anyways, stay tuned for more if you're interested. Like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all of you, and I hope to see you all next time.